7 elements of art. So what we're going to do is we're going to think of putting this shape floating in the air. We need to add some space to it. And if we remember, space is basically putting your focus in a room or in the outside, right? So think of it, have you guys ever played with Google Maps? And when you're on Google Maps, there's like a little man with a big head, and you can move him on Google Maps. And you place it there, and then, a space shows, or you see like an outdoor area or buildings. Well, this is what we're going to do here. So we're going to make our shape, and we're going to put it on a table. So that's when your ruler, you're going to need your ruler. You're going to put it right in the middle. Just remember, when you use a ruler, to make sure you get a straight line, you're going to use the edge of your ruler and the edge of your paper, because it's already a straight line. And you're going to put a line through your whole paper, but avoid touching your shape, okay? So take a look at this. Like that. So now we created a space. So we put our lonely shape, our circle, inside a room or on a surface, which is a table. You see that a little illusion that we created there? All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use, so we have our shape, we have our space, and that was our room, right? Value. Let's go back to the definition of value. What in the world was that one? Who can tell me? What was that definition? Go ahead.
The definition of value is a shaded darkness or lightness.
Yeah, so it describes the darkness or lightness of an image. Perfect. Thank you. So we need to add some dark and we need to add some light to this to make it look like it has value. And what value does is it makes a shape, a simple boring shape that we have, it turns it more three-dimensional. It gives it form. Do you remember that what form meant? Form was a fun one that we did in our sketchbooks. Anybody remember? By adding value, we're adding form. Someone look at their definitions and tell me what form means. Oh, let me pick on someone then. I can't see the chat, you guys, when I'm on here. So if you're chatting, I can't see it. I don't know how to see it.
Form means a visible shape of something.
Ooh, so it looks like how something, so basically we're making it look three-dimensional, okay? So when we're thinking of adding value to this circle, what we're going to do is we're going to have to first think about where in the world our light source is. For the sake of this example, we're going to add our light source right here. So you can put light. Have you ever had a flashlight and you put it on your face and like one section lights up? Have you guys done that before? Like when you're telling scary stories? I might have a flashlight. That's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that this is a flashlight shining down on our circle. So we're going to have to put a little highlight. So we're going to put a little oval in between, making it represent that highlight or that white, that shadow. Once we have our light source, what we need to do is we need to see, okay, so we have light. When the light is on you, it casts a shadow, right? So right over here, we're going to have the shadow. The shadow is on the opposite side of your light source. So we're going to just color this in really, really dark. Oh, you can use the side of your pencil if you protect like the tip of your pencil with your finger and you use the side. Look at that. Created a shadow, right? So I should see everybody at least have a shadow and a circle on their paper. All right, so once we have that shadow here, the shadow can actually, it can touch your object, that's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some shadow on top of this circle so we can make it look more three-dimensional. We're going to add more value to it, okay? So you're going to use the side of your pencil, and you can turn your paper if you'd like, but follow this contour line. You see how the circle curves? We're going to curve that too. And we're just going to use the side of our pencil with as much pressure as we can use without breaking your pencil. And we're going to go right where our table starts. We're going to go probably that high, following that curve. And look at my shadow. All right, so you have something like that. Are you guys ready to see some magic happen? What you can do is you can use your finger, or you can use your finger wrapped in a paper towel if you have a paper towel. Some artists use something called a blending stump, which is just basically it's paper compiled to look like a pencil with a nice tip. So it's just composite paper. If you guys get one of these, they're really cheap. They're like, you can get 3 for like $1 at Walmart or Michael's or wherever. Or you can get a paper towel, or you can just use your finger. And what you're going to do is you're going to blend out your shadows. And it's okay if you go outside the lines for this purposes. If you have a paper towel, you don't like to get dirty, you can blend it right this. With the paper towel, oops, I touched my highlight where my flashlight is. Is that going to be a problem? Uh-oh. Is that going to be a problem? No, it's not. We could fix that later. Oh. And as you can see, our shape is no longer just a shape, huh? We added some value. We added some darks and some lights to it. But it's still a little messy. Let me show you what a blending stump would do too. So blending stumps, it's like a very textured piece of paper, like a condensed thing, or a condensed paper towel. And you would just smooth it on over and use it in the same manner. I don't mind for this instance if you get out of the lines. That's fine. Oh man, it still looks kind of flat though, right? We need to add something to this. So to make this pop out and give it more value, we need to add more lights. So in your corner right here, I want you to make a little note. White, it brings objects forward. And if it's a black or a shadow, which is what we've created right here, it brings objects backwards. All right, are you ready for this? Let's make this sphere, or the circle, pop out, okay? We're gonna add some light. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your eraser, and you're gonna clean up your highlights. Oh, and your highlight is back. And then there's another, so when light bounces off the table, it kind of...
It looks like a bubble.
It does look like a bubble, yes. That's our highlight. So right here, actually there would be a highlight too. You see how there's not enough contrast? There's not enough difference in color. So this looks like a shadow and this looks like a shadow, but there's no difference in color. We're gonna add some contrast. We're gonna add some difference by using our eraser and tracing, or putting our circle back in. We're gonna trace the circle until we created that contrast. You see that? So now we have that difference again. We're following the recipe of contrast. We're making that difference in value. We got dark, and we broke it up with a little highlight or white. And if your highlight is too big, like I think this one's a little too, you can be subtle. Just bring back your graphite, bring back your grays a little bit and just thin it out. You see that? So right here, I want you to write reflected light. And this you can put casted shadow. Okay? Are there any questions about this right now? If you want, you just show me, hold it up in the air, hold it up to your camera, and let me see what you got. Right there. Hold it up, hold it up. Hold it up to the air and let me see what you got. Let me see. Let me see my chats. How do I get my chats back up? All right, I can't get out of this. There we go.